I have a question going forward because, as you all know, this is the recent decade that is 2020, fresh new decade, you know. I just wanted to ask like a what I think is a very essential question, especially headed towards the next generation of gaming. Do physical copies matter anymore? And I gotta tell you my stance on it. I don't think physical copies should be a thing. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. Again, I understand. People like their physical copies and they want to keep their physical copies. But you see, the thing about owning a physical copy is that it has more disadvantages than it does advantages. And I'm going to dive in, what I meant by that, which is basically you still have to download the games anyway. Whether you have a disc or digital, you still have to you still have to digitally download the game, whether that's in a disc or it's on your hard drive. So for you to spend $60 on a game, a physical copy that can easily get lost, easily get, not work, because there's been several instances where like my console just literally doesn't read the disc, or the disc just stops working, and I don't have a problem with digital. In fact, digital is like less space. First of all, it's less space, and it doesn't give you problems. It's like once you buy the game, it's already attached to your account. I don't see why people, have this misconception that if you own a physical copy of a game, that means, oh, I own this game. No, you you actually don't. In fact, if you read the terms of service, the little like 30,000 page essay that's seen in the beginning of the game, it tell you, oh, accept this. It tells you verbatim that you don't own the game, whether that's a physical copy or a disc copy. So just because you have a physical representation in your hand doesn't exactly mean that you own the game. You don't own the rights to Rockstar Games. You don't own the rights from Call of Duty and stuff like that. So the fact that people having this misconception that, oh, if I have a physical copy of this game, that in turn means that I own the licensing, that's not how that works. Clearly it's not. Because if that was the case, then nobody would get hit with copyright strikes, for stealing, leaked gameplay and stuff like that, a whole bunch of other stuff. That's not the point. The point is, physical copies, I feel like it can be an option, but I feel like it shouldn't be an option where like the masses are taking, you know what I mean? Because digital copies are just the way to go, And the thing is, digital copies are essentially, think about it. What do you think is better? Do you think a credit card is better, or do you think having, like infinite money in your wallet is gonna, benefit you in any way, shape, or form? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you rather have $1 million on your bank card or $1 million in your pockets? I'm pretty sure I would like to have it on a plastic card, way more than my pockets, because number one, it's not gonna fit, obviously, right? It's the same thing with gaming. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have multiple games installed in my hard drive / external drive than to have like 87,000 games like piled up. I have to make like a shelf and stuff like that. It's cool for retro games if you're a retro gamer, if you're, a collector when it comes to retro games. Again, I'm saying retro multiple times because none of these games, in my opinion, are really worth, collecting all of them for, But if you're a collector, do you? I'm just simply saying that it's not practical. It's not. Again, like I remember on 360, that 360 tore up all of my games. I had to buy GTA 4 4 times because it kept destroying my discs. Like it would have a huge like dark scratches in it. So like the console couldn't read it. It would have like cracks, almost look like teeth marks. Like, bro, the console was eating away at my games. Like it was hungry until I just discovered that, oh, I can, install my games while it's, in the console. And that way, it basically keeps my games protected. And it's the same way for this generation and the next generation. In fact, it manually gives you a digital download. as soon as you put the disc into your console, the physical disc into your console, it automatically says you have to download the game. So it's like, okay, why do I have this then? That defeats the purpose if I still have to download it. You know, I don't understand it. And again, this is not me coming at people like, yo, what you're doing is wrong, you should stop doing it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, there should be, I don't know, like, self-awareness. It's like, listen, you do realize that this is a thing and this is potentially could be better than what you're doing. That's what I'm saying. I'm just merely giving a suggestion, because the main reason why I'm giving a suggestion is because GameStop is still a thing. And if you really want GameStop, people talk about GameStop all the time and be like, oh, it's a terrible company, a terrible service, this and that, they scam people. Well, you are basically giving them ammunition to scam people because you're still buying physical copies, And if you notice, a lot of people buy digital and look at the results that it's caused. GameStop is slowly deteriorating, and it hopefully won't be around when next generation comes. And obviously that's a good thing. Now, of course, I don't wish upon anybody to lose their job or nothing, but honestly, if you work at GameStop, you should have a backup job ASAP, because that whole entire company is literally the Titanic right now. It is sinking. The iceberg is right in front of you. You really need to jump ship as soon as you can, because that's not going to be a company that's going to, financially be stable in the next, I don't know, 3 to 4 years. That's all I'm saying is, listen, consider not buying physical copies, especially from GameStop. But like, come on, I see this all the time. People buy pre-owned copies for like $40 or whatever, or like they bring in games that already, that they already bought for $60, and then they bring it back because they don't want it, or they found out like the game is not for them or whatever. And then they're like, okay, they take it for like $15 to $20, and as soon as you leave the door, they slap a $60 to $40 price tag on it and resell it. That's how it is, bro. It's literally like a Ponzi scheme. That's GameStop. That's GameSpot. And it's always been the case, honestly. It's getting a lot worse as of recently, but GameStop has always been this way, and they're not going to change, which is exactly why they need to be, gone. Because scamming people is not cool for obvious reasons. I mean, who willingly wants to be scammed? It's like, oh yeah, I love being scammed by GameStop. They always make me feel like trash. I love it. Like, no. I mean, if you're like that kind of masochist, then maybe. But I don't know. People have some weird kinks. But the point, what I'm saying is, I don't believe that physical games should be a thing in 2020. That's just my personal opinion. Your opinion may be, you see, that's the thing about opinions, is that you don't have to agree. It's amazing, isn't it? Right? Oh, opinions, And today's like, why can't you ask questions, or give your side, your spin on things without upsetting like half of the whole world? I don't understand that. I don't know. People should just like have open ears, or like be open-minded when it comes to certain things. It's like, okay, you can listen to my opinion and you be like, okay, I understand you, I get this, but I'm still gonna buy it, and that's perfect. I'm still gonna buy physical copies. That's perfectly fine. All I'm saying is, just at least hear me out on this, because GameSpot is still a thing, and that's the result of people still buying physical copies. And the best way to kill GameStop is to not shop there, especially from digital games. I mean, physical games, and just go digital. That's what I'm saying, man. But yeah.